At 9:17 a.m., he was a respected senior manager. At 9:26 a.m., he was no longer needed. 9 minutes. 9 minutes erased 12 years of loyalty. No warning. No fight. No second chance. Just one sentence. We've decided to move in a different direction. And just like that, he became invisible. Daniel never thought it would be him. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't incompetent. He didn't steal. He didn't slack. He gave everything. Late nights. Canceled vacations. Missed birthdays. Missed anniversaries. He told himself it was worth it. He told his wife, Emma, just a few more years. Then we'll breathe. The elevator doors closed. He watched the numbers go down. 12, 11, 10. Each floor felt like a piece of his identity falling away. Who was he without that office? Without that title? Without that business card? When the doors opened to the lobby, something strange happened. Nobody looked at him. It was as if he had already disappeared. He didn't turn on the radio. Silence felt appropriate. The steering wheel felt heavier than usual. His phone buzzed twice. Work emails. He didn't open them. He no longer belonged there. At a red light, he caught his reflection in the mirror. He looked older. Not physically, but defeated. And then came the thought, the one that scares people. If I'm not valuable there, am I valuable anywhere? He shook his head, as if physically trying to eject the thought. But it stayed. Emma knew something was wrong the second he walked in. You're home early. He nodded. They let me go. The sentence hung in the air like smoke after a fire. No screaming. No drama. Just silence. And silence can be louder than anything. That night, Daniel didn't sleep. He stared at the ceiling and replayed every decision of the last decade. Should I have switched companies? Should I have pushed harder? Should I have seen this coming? Around 3:14 a.m., reality hit him. The mortgage, the car payments, the school tuition. Responsibility doesn't disappear when income does. The first week felt like a vacation. The second week felt uncomfortable. By the third week, shame arrived. LinkedIn became torture. Excited to announce. Thrilled to share. Proud to be promoted. Every post felt personal. He stopped answering calls. He avoided friends. He told people he was exploring new opportunities. But inside, something darker whispered. You were replaced because you're replaceable. That sentence echoed. Over and over. One afternoon, he sat alone in the living room. Lights off. Curtains closed. He didn't cry. He just sat there. Numb. Emma found him like that. She didn't yell. She didn't give a motivational speech. She sat beside him. And after a long pause, she asked, Who were you before that company? He frowned. What? Before the promotions. Before the stress. Before the title. Who were you? He didn't answer. Because he couldn't remember. When was the last time he did something because he loved it, not because it paid? Emma stood up and walked to the closet. She came back holding a dusty box. Inside were old sketchbooks. Daniel used to draw. Not casually. Passionately. Architecture concepts. Cityscapes. Futuristic buildings. He once dreamed of becoming an architect. But stable income sounded safer. Emma placed the sketchbook on his lap. You were this, she said. And for the first time in weeks, something inside him moved. Not hope. Not yet. But curiosity. The next morning, Daniel opened the sketchbook. His hands felt unfamiliar with the pencil. It had been years. He stared at the blank page for almost 10 minutes. Then he drew one line. Just one. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't brilliant. But it was his. That line became a window frame. The window became a building. The building became a skyline. For the first time in weeks, time moved differently. It didn't drag. It didn't suffocate. It flowed. Emma watched quietly from the doorway. She didn't interrupt. because she knew something was coming back to life. Drawing for fun was safe. Turning it into something real, that was terrifying. Daniel had no degree in architecture, no modern portfolio, no connections, just old talent and new desperation. He uploaded 3 sketches online. No announcement, no excited to share, just silence. 3 days later, a message arrived. Are you available for freelance design work? His heart pounded. It was a small cafe renovation project. Nothing glamorous, nothing huge, but it was real. He almost didn't respond. That voice came back. You'll fail. They'll see you're not good enough. But another voice, quieter, steadier, replied, what if you're better than you think? He said yes. The first draft wasn't accepted. The client wanted changes. Major ones. Old Daniel would have taken it personally. But unemployed Daniel had learned something. Rejection wasn't death. It was direction. He stayed up until 2 a.m. revising. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to. When the client approved the second version, Daniel didn't celebrate loudly. He just sat back and smiled. It wasn't about money. It was about proof. Proof that he wasn't finished. Months passed. Small projects turned into steady work. The steady work turned into referrals. The referrals turned into something unexpected. Freedom. One afternoon, while reviewing a new contract, Daniel realized something strange. He hadn't checked LinkedIn in weeks. He no longer cared about promotions. He no longer needed a title. He had built something quieter, but stronger. His own path. And then, it happened. An email. From his old company. They were restructuring again. They needed consultants. His name was recommended. He stared at the screen. 6 months ago, he would have begged for this. Now, he closed the laptop. Not angrily. Not bitterly. Just peacefully. He didn't need to go back. Here's what nobody tells you. Being replaced doesn't mean you're worthless. It means you were building someone else's dream. Sometimes losing the job is the only way to find yourself. Daniel wasn't fired. He was redirected. And maybe, if you're watching this right now, feeling like something in your life just collapsed. Maybe it didn't collapse. Maybe it cleared space. Because sometimes, the worst day of your life is the first day of your real one.